to item 3.12, Chancellor's Report.
Well, good evening, trustees. Thank you, President Gonzalez-Brito. Pleased to be here tonight. And I'm going to start with the president's reports, and I'll ask Berkeley City College's president, Dr. Denise Richardson, to begin.
Good evening, everyone. Chancellor Gilkerson, Board President Gonzalez-Brito, trustees, colleagues, students, and members of the community. As was noted in our board report, we had a very successful welcome back week with opportunities for our students to enjoy great food, to learn about the support and resources and get assistance from our outreach team, our counselors, and registration specialists. I would also like to thank Mark Johnson for coming over to help with the BCC festivities, coming with gifts, sweatshirts and t-shirts for our students, and capturing some of the exciting beginning of the year moments on camera. I'd like to include a plug for our Basic Needs Center clothing drive. If you have any gently used or new clothing that you would like to donate to BCC's Buddies Closet, please drop them off with our Basic Needs Coordinator, Izzy Villanueva in room 125. Now that the cooler weather is approaching, your donation could make a real difference for some of our students. Berkeley City College, in collaboration with the League of Women Voters, will host a Berkeley mayoral debate on September 26th from 6:30 to 8:30 in BCC's auditorium. All are welcome to attend, and I would love to see some of our trustees there if they are available. Now I'd like to highlight a few faculty who are literally putting BCC on the map. As you saw in our board report, BCC English instructor Adam Olmedo spent his family vacation in Wenzhou, China. While there, he did a recruitment presentation to students, complete with a PowerPoint presentation at a school. So I just have to give a shout out to Professor Olmedo for taking BCC with you to China and representing us in such a purposeful way. BCC Humanities Professor Laura Roberto is a principal investigator on a 3-year study mapping creativity in captivity during World War II, funded by the Australian Research Council. The Digital Humanities Project was awarded one of Australia's most prestigious awards and a competitive research grant. Dr. Roberto's involvement includes co-curating an exhibit in Italian POWs and art slated to open in New York City in April 2025 and assisting with the grant's main project. The project will provide a different understanding of how individuals and groups interact in conditions of confinement, especially during wartime, and the key role of creative action and promoting solidarity and kinship. Dr. Barbara DeRoche reports that BCC's biotech program had 9 students complete a 10-month internship this past year in research labs at UCB, UCCF and UC Santa Cruz. These students presented posters summarizing their research at the annual CIRM, which stands for California Institute of Regenerative Medicine, networking conference, and that was held at USC this past August. All of the students had career-enhancing experiences and are now well-equipped for employment opportunities in those exciting STEM fields. BCC has produced its first annual report. I brought copies for those who would like one, so please stop by and get one on your way out. Lastly, I had the pleasure of joining our VPSS, Dr. Stacy Shears, our Enrollment Service Coordinator, Gail Pendleton, and our CIO, Tom Rizza, at the Front Row Music and Arts Festival on Saturday, August 24th. In addition to interacting with prospective students and community partners who were also tabling at the event, we had a very pleasant surprise. A member of the Berkeley community came up and asked us, who are you guys? What's going on with Berkeley City College? She happens to be a member of the community, a former educator. We told her what we did, and we shared a lot of the good things that are happening at BCC. And then she proceeded to tell us that she was going to give us a very generous donation for students in need. So needless to say, we were very grateful and excited about this gift to students. But the bigger lesson for us was that people in the community see us and they support what we're doing. So sometimes just showing up in spaces can make a difference. This concludes my report for Berkeley City College.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Next, I'll have Dr. Rudy Besikof, President, Laney College.
Good evening, Chancellor Gilkerson, Board President Gonzalez-Brito, members of the governing board, colleagues in education, and of course, our valued students and community members. I did take the time to provide you all with a handout and also to the board clerk in case a member of the public would like a copy as well. It was a flyer for a great event we're going to have tomorrow, which is the open house, which also is our grand opening of the Laney Queer Community Center. It will be from 2 to 4 o'clock tomorrow in the Student Center up on the 3rd floor in room 300. This was really a project that began in the middle half of the spring semester with the appointing of our Lavender Project coordinator, Professor Yi Ren from ESOL. And in essentially the space of a few short months, including the summer, has resulted in the opening of the center. And we're so excited to invite the community tomorrow, as well as, of course, our students and colleagues. And I think that's something that's great. I know sometimes maybe you're looking for something to do, and I don't know if any of you ever check out IFC, the Independent Film Channel. Well, one thing that might be there, fresh out of the Toronto International Film Festival, is the science movie Ick. And the executive producer of that film is Laney alum Tia Kane, excuse me. And after graduating from Laney, she went on to complete her film studies at UCLA and then pursued a career in acting and later executive directing in Brazil, which was pretty exciting. So big tip of the hat to Michael Torres in the theater department, as well as Alejandro Acosta. Finally, I know I've been telling this board a continuing story that began with our membership in the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. I'm pleased to report that through HACU and the National Science Foundation, Laney has been selected to be a member of the first Volare cohort, whose goal is to increase enrollments in STEM through professional development, as well as building institutional research capacity. Laney, and with that, I'll conclude my report.
Thank you, President Besikof. I'll now turn to Melanie Dixon, President, College of Alameda.
Good evening, Chancellor Gilkerson and President Gonzalez-Brito and the members of the board, and as well as our community members and wonderful students from the Citizen in the audience. Yes, I have a update related to some of the orientation activity and certainly want to share that. We spent our opportunity to have our last face-to-face orientation, onboarding our students and providing them with financial aid workshops. I think where I'll center my report at this evening is really around some of the work that College of Alameda is doing around funding and enrollment. So much of our energy has been spent on how we're going to deal with financial aid and increasing the FAFSA applications for our students. Some of those students coming from our ASTE High School on our campus and graduating with AAs at the same time that they graduate from high school. So really trying to infuse and increase those numbers, and ASTE has seen an uptick in their enrollment. So we expect that enrollment to hit College of Alameda over the next couple of years. I think the other thing that we are focused on is really looking at how we are utilizing our resources across our college. So looking at how we're spending funding on different supplies across our college and really trying to leverage our resources, and certainly how we're spending money to engage our communities, right? So what events are we doing and what does that look like in partnership? Those particular investments, I think, are really important as efficiency measures. And then lastly, I would say that we were honored to hire Dean Nguyen, who comes to us by way of BCC, serves as our dean in our student services and enrollment services. And he has been putting on campaigns for our students publicly on social media and out in our communication about a One More campaign, grabbing one more class to expedite their time to completion and reduce their cost for education. So we are really trying to double down on how we educate our students, bring them into the pipeline around financial aid, and help explore what the options are available to them. So with that, I thank you all for your time. We have a name in our report of a couple of coaches that are coming that are pretty well known. So Gary Payton Sr. is joining our basketball team as the head coach. And we also have Justin Hoover, who's serving as our volleyball coach. Very well known, both of them in the Bay Area region. And our athletics program is really excited, as well as our college community. So thank you so much for the time to speak. And I will turn it back over to our chancellor.
Thank you so much, President Dixon. All right, now Dr. David Johnson, Merritt College.
Big things in Peralta. Okay. Good evening, Chancellor, President Gonzalez-Brito, trustees, colleagues, community members, and of course our students. You have my board report in front of you, which highlights just a couple of things. Number one, the recent East Bay Consortium California Student Opportunity and Access Program event, where we had 166 attendees across the K through 12s, the community colleges, the four-year institutions, and college access providers to talk about post-secondary education and financial aid to low-income and documented low eligibility students. So that was a very, very successful event. So we're very proud of our continued partnership with them. You likely read about the reopening of our Africana Center at Merritt College, which hosts speaker series and special events and activities for students throughout the semester to regale you about various aspects of the African diaspora. If you looked at the report, you likely read of our recent SAS event, Student Accessibility Services, where we hosted 50 students to their Welcome Back and Success workshop to give them an opportunity to reinforce a sense of community and get to know those in the SAS department. So with that said, I just want to point to a couple of things. Number one, not to be presumptuous, but I think I speak for all the college presidents to thank the Chancellor and her team for the roadshow, visiting all of our colleges. I know the feedback from our people was very positive. They appreciated the candor, the transparency, and the optimism with which you delivered your respective messages. So we thank you for that. I want to point out, and I want to thank those from Merritt who attended Oakland Pride on Sunday. We had a booth there. We had some T-shirts that, quite frankly, I forgot to bring, but I will have that for you all, trustees. Some very festive T-shirts. It was a festive and fun event. We got to meet some of our students, former Merritt students, so that was good. A couple other things I noticed on the board report. We have a couple of very outstanding individuals who are up for your consideration for positions. One for the science lab tech and one for our interim dean of counseling and equity. I can vouch for them that they are excellent individuals and would be an asset to the college. So throw that out there. And finally, looking forward to welcoming you 2 weeks from tonight, Merritt College, September 24th. We're hosting. We have a lot of things in store for you. So we're very excited to be seeing you soon, the kind of inaugural board meeting at the college. So with that said, I'll end my report.
Well, thank you, college presidents. Really appreciate the energy and enthusiasm. You can feel the start of the term and appreciate the diversity of reports from you all. So I'll go ahead and begin my chancellor's report. So welcome back, faculty, right? We had an incredibly productive district flex on Thursday, August 15th at Laney College. Kudos to Chelsea Cohen and Marla Leach, the district professional development co-coordinators, for organizing one of the most informative Flex Day programs in recent memory. The excellent panel on artificial intelligence is now posted on Peralta's YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It was a really interesting conversation. Also, check out more on the Peralta Gems for a more detailed recap of the day, including links to session recordings, slides, and other resources. And on Friday, August 16th, each of the colleges also held successful professional development days to prepare for the fall semester. So kudos to those teams for doing that as well. And well, welcome back, students. You are the reason we are all here. Fall semester began on Monday, August 19th. Each of the colleges hosted exciting activities for students throughout the first week of classes. During Welcome Week, I'm grateful to the marketing team, including Marcus Creel, Faiza Ali, Bendy Yamaz, Joe Sullivan, and Mark Johnson, for visiting each of the colleges and gave out college-branded T-shirts and hoodies. And over 200 students, look at those faces, are now, signed models for the district with modeling swag in photos and videos. And so we're excited to be able to have them. These photos are available on the Peralta College's Smug Mug site. Senate Bill 1348, which is making its way through the legislature in Sacramento, would establish the designation of California Black Serving Institutions to recognize campuses that excel at providing academic resources to Black and African American students. While the designations exist for Hispanic serving institutions and Asian American, Native American, and Pacific Islander serving institutions, frustratingly, there is no such designation for Black serving institutions. SB 1348 will change that, which is why I wrote an article that's been published in the Oakland Post on August 28th. And the bill has now been approved by both the Assembly and Senate, and as of yesterday was presented to Governor Newsom for signing into state law. Each of our colleges meets the standards for designation as a Black serving institution. So this law would certainly create opportunities for the district to support and continue to support Black student success. On Thursday, August 29th, I had the pleasure of gathering with administrators from across the district for the managers retreat. I want to thank Dr. David Johnson and the Merritt College team for hosting us. It was an incredibly productive day where we had the chance to hear from brilliant leaders, including Dr. Keith Curry and our own Jamil Tier, Dr. Ron McKinley, and Dr. Jennifer Shanowski. Dr. Curry, the president and superintendent of Compton College, shared his experience at Compton and the incredible work that they've done over the past 12 years to bring that college back, restore accreditation, and return to fiscal stability, all while laser focused on students. Sound familiar? His talk definitely resonated with managers in the room. Jamil Tier, the SEIU vice president, gave us updates on the contract between Peralta and SEIU, while Jennifer Shanowski, former president and current grievance officer of the PFT, provided an equally compelling update on the contract between PFT and Peralta. Interestingly, both Jamil and Jennifer made similar points. It's not the SEIU contract or the PFT contract. They're both agreements between Peralta and the bargaining unit. They are our contracts, and I couldn't agree more. I really want to thank them for coming out and helping provide and have a great dialogue with our constituency groups. And we ended with exploring the different ways that people process information and think relevant parts of our team. We had revelations about thinking differently and the diversity of experiences we have. Plus, we learned to do an exercise that I also did with classified professionals at the summer symposium in July, giving managers another way to connect with staff. But icing on the cake? Well, thanks to Merritt College President's Office team, we had 2 types of birthday cake to help celebrate President Johnson's birthday. So thanks for joining us on your actual birthday. As the illustrious president of the District Academic Senate, Matthew Goldstein, said tonight in his remarks, on August 30th from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. here, we held the Planning and Budget Integration Model, or PBIM, retreat. This was a follow-up to the retreat we held in March, where we got feedback on the current state of participatory governance in the district. One bit of feedback we got in March was, quote, "We don't want to just rewrite the manual. We really want to reimagine the process and the goal," unquote. I've been working, obviously, with my partners, Matthew Goldstein, Tashetta Henry, from my office, also the Berkeley City College Faculty Senate President Matthew Freeman, on the update to the manual, and we hope to articulate a new shared governance that ignites passion, purpose, and possibilities. And so this retreat was the first opportunity to validate our interpretation of the feedback we received and get recommendations on the new structure. I was so impressed with the over 50 leaders from across the districts. This included student leaders, our student trustee, Student Trustee Byrne was there, along with other student leaders, faculty members, administrators attended on the Friday before Labor Day weekend. And so we're excited to get the feedback and be moving this model forward through our shared governance process. And thank you to President Johnson for the kind remarks about the District Service Center Leadership Team Roadshow, where we got to hit the road and visit the campuses. I hope everyone had a lovely Labor Day weekend. We followed that holiday with a busy week visiting the college campuses and giving updates on what's happening. I was joined by leaders, including our Vice Chancellor, Tina Vasconcelos, Vice Chancellor, Andrea Epps, our CTO, Antoine Meule, I want to write, okay, and Abdul Pridgen and Executive Director Abdul Pridgen. They did a fantastic job. It was wonderful to be on the road with them. You should have seen us all cramped in my car. So it was very, very funny driving around. We provided some recent highlights from educational services, human resources, information technology, public safety, and marketing and communications, including new monthly office hours that HR will be hosting on all 4 campuses. So we're pretty excited about that. We had the opportunity to talk about the recent improvements that are coming forward for our contracting process, and I shared with the board at our August 13th meeting. One of the main topics we covered is the draft adopted budget, which you'll be voting on tonight, later in this meeting. I had the chance to review the planning budget reductions and cost efficiencies that the district is pursuing and answered specific questions from college teams. We also spent time going over the student-centered funding formulas so that everyone is clear on what factors are used to determine our revenue from the state. Filing, we focused on things we all need to do to maximize our total computational revenue, or that tricky term, TCR. I want to thank all the presidents and their teams for graciously hosting the events, and my gratitude to all who came and participated in the sessions. And I also want to thank the admin assistants from each of the college and Trishetta Henry in my office for helping with the logistics. We'll be giving the presentation one more time on Thursday at the District Service Center team here at the atrium at 3 p.m. if anybody wants to come back and see a repeat performance. And finally, earlier today, the Executive Director of Ed Trust West, Dr. Christopher Nellum, sent an email out that said, "I'm excited to welcome our new advisory team members, board members. Their diverse backgrounds and commitment will be instrumental in pushing for equity for students of color and multilingual learners across the state." I'm pleased to be one of the new advisory board members for Ed Trust West. And Ed Trust West is an organization committed to advancing policies and practice to dismantle the racial and economic barriers embedded in the California education system. Through research and advocacy, Ed Trust West improves racial equity in education, encourages diverse communities dedicated to education, equity, and justice, and increases political and public will to build an educational system where students of color and multilingual learners, especially those experiencing poverty, will thrive. And really, I'm quite proud to represent Peralta as one of those new advisory board members. And that concludes my Chancellor's report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, college presidents, for those reports. So we will move to a public hearing, 4.1 public hearing.